guys.
And the crowd goes wild.
There's more synchronicity, Nadine, when we're actually collectively in one room, but since we're working from home individually, it's so hard to...
There's lag. There's lag tones. You know, it's hard to fight the internet. Hard to fight the internet now.
So all we must do is we must adapt to survive.
The new normal. Yes.
Oh, Tony hates that term, by the way.
I hate that term too.
I know, right? It's like...
But how are you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm good. Been to the island back and forth because I'm also living in Siargao now. So... Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Like, I wish everybody could do that, you know? Like,
it's really, I guess there's really a lot of adjusting, a lot of adjustments that I have to make just because work is here. But then, work follows me around. I'm in Siargao. I still work.
Yeah.
It's just a bit different, I would say that I'm lucky because most of my work is online.
Yeah.
The only thing I have to be here for are shoots.
Right. But you still shuttle back and forth, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. A lot of people would love to do the province and city life, whenever they can. But what brought you to, out of all the places, all the beautiful places in the Philippines? Probably some of the best.
Palawan, you've got La Union, Zambales, Boracay, there's a plethora, Cebu even. Yeah.
I mean, why would you choose Siargao, which, it's still quite raw, and internet is probably one of the things that we all
need for this day and age.
Yeah.
But what is it about Siargao that you picked? I mean, for those that have never been.
Well, Siargao, that island really has magic. I don't know what it is, but it's a nice little place where it's. I guess it's the community. It's the people.
Yeah.
They're very conscious about a lot of things. The lifestyle is very different. But aside from those things, I have a couple of friends who have been living there too for quite a while now. So, It's kind of it'll make me feel homesick if I go there and I don't know anyone. That's kind of difficult. But then since I already have friends who also moved there because of, after the pandemic and way back a couple of years ago, it's not really hard to adjust.
Right.
What? You don't miss Manila? The EDSA? The traffic?
The smog?
You don't miss the hustle and bustle of the city?
The gray overall color of Metro Manila? No.
The gray atmosphere. I see that all the time.
I know, right?
Fly out to Siargao. I'm like, I can't believe this is the air we're breathing in Manila. It's just...
But was this a long time coming though? Like, has this always been something that was on your radar, like kind of to live, by the beach or anything to that degree? Like, or is this something that came about because of the pandemic?
It's something that I really wanted for myself just because I love being in nature. I find myself most at peace when I'm up in the mountains or by the beach. I'm sure it's the same for a lot of people. But also, I've been wanting to live outside of the city for quite a while now. The thing that kind of sealed the deal for me was the pandemic when things started going crazy. We were all stuck at home. I live in a condo, so it is my home, but I can't help it. Sometimes it still feels like I'm living in a box. It still feels like I'm in a cage. So as soon as I got the chance to fly out to Siargao, which was back in July, I just took it. And then obviously it's not hard to fall in love with the place. It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
Is that your first time? Was July your very first time to check
that was my third time already, actually.
Okay. So you were pretty familiar with the place already by the time that I would think so, because you're moving there, right? That's a pretty big. But what's a normal day like?
Yeah.
Like, let's just say that you didn't have work, and because for the people who are stuck in the city who can only kind of daydream about living on the beach or living by the mountains or anything like that, can you walk us through like what's a normal day like for you? Like if you didn't have work in Siargao?
Siargao, okay, so I would usually wake up at 6 a.m.
Damn.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 a.m. and then just, do whatever. Sometimes I get to work out. Sometimes I just go on my balance board, and because I really want to learn how to surf. So I just use that, or I just sit on my porch and just watch. Just chill there, meditate. And then, and then
Soak in the nature.
Exactly. I mean, you're living
that's
life.
exactly it. And around, I think, mga 8 o'clock or 9 a.m., I go to this spot called Coco Frio. It's a stall along Peterson Road that sells anything that has coconut in it. It can be coffee with coconut shakes, coconut water, but I always go there for the coconut water. So I bring my tumbler and I just, they just fill it up with coconut water and I go by my day. Sometimes I would run errands, buy at the palengke, or just buy stuff, or go have breakfast somewhere. It really depends. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then in the afternoon, have lunch, and then go to the beach or drive up north. Driving up north is actually my favorite. So if you drive up north, that's like that's where Burgos is.
Monica.
Yeah, all those places. Pacifico. It's nice. They have really nice beaches, and there are nice restaurants there as well. So that's pretty much it. And then at night, just have dinner. And then watch series, and then go to sleep.
That sounds like a really awesome normal life.
Yeah.
It's very normal. But what I learned by doing, it's not really it's not a routine. It really depends on what people are doing for that day. Because sometimes your friends would ask you, hey, let's have lunch. Hey, there's a party. It really depends. But what I learned is that I, just learn how to soak in life and just slow down, because in the city, I'm used to like that.
There's
kind of
never any pauses or whatever.
Never any pauses, and I barely, you barely have time to eat. Like you're always on the go. I'm always driving. I'm always running errands. I'm always, it gets really crazy. And today, my day is pretty much. It's been like that.
Yeah.
But now I'm at home, obviously, because of the interview. But it's been like that the whole afternoon. So it gets really crazy, and gets to a point where you're just like, man, like I wish I want to slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like you were at the point of burning out? I know a lot of people would probably say, I don't know about burnout. You're living your life. You have they would love to be in your shoes, doing what you do. But we all have a tipping point. Whatever it is that we do, we've seen the greatest of singers, artists,
athletes.
They all have a tipping point. And were you about to reach that, or did you reach that and say, you know what, kailangan ko talaga mag-step back?
Yeah. Well, burning out is kind of a recurring thing, because you can also burn out from the things that you love doing.
True.
I mean, it's not always just for work.
Person?
Kaya nga, person ba to? People that you love? Things pala, things. Mali. Sira yung headset. Okay.
Because Tony, he burns out from other people's.
Other people.
I'm sorry, I'm burnt out. Let's take a few minutes.
After 90 days, we're good.
Ako na ako text masyado.
Bilis mag-burnout.
But the thing is, a lot of you can get burnt out from a lot of things. Could be people also, because there are people that kind of it's I feel really bad for saying this, but there are people kasi na parang energy vampire sila, and they don't know they're doing that.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when you're with them for a day, you're like, why am I so exhausted? I did work, but why am I so exhausted?
I-name mga few names kahit mga otas doon, mga taong ganito. Para ma-call out natin. Para masabi kayo.
Para may awareness. Awareness na.
tayo. I'm good.
Sino ba kayo?
Okay, Nadine, we'll start with Sam and then
Yo! No, Sam, muna ka mo. Sige. Awareness lang, pare. Awareness lang.
Ayoko lang.
Sam, okay lang.
Tanggalin naman tayo dito. Sige na.
Ang hirap, di ba?
Mahirap po. Basta you know who you are. Yun na lang.
Okay na yun.
You know who you are.
Okay na yun.
okay.
I want to ask about this whole buying Mang Tomas in the sari-sari
Oh my
store.
God.
Tayo lang naman. How you feel na nag-viral? Oh my God, bumili lang ako ng Mang Tomas. Nagbago na yung mundo. Hindi ko nila alam na normal bumili ng Mang Tomas. Oh my God.
No, okay. So what happened? It's really funny kasi that day we just came from the north, so we went surfing, just running around on the beach and all of that. So we were really tired, and I was really hungry. So went back home, and the only thing that we could get is the lechon manok.
Okay.
Please, guys, please listen. Ito yung kwento. Ito yung real deal na nangyari. Umuwi siya, may lechon manok. O ano nangyari?
Yes, I bought lechon manok. And then there was no sarsa. No sarsa, no suka, no walang sausawan yung lechon manok.
Ay, naku.
Ayun, so I was like, parang gusto ko ng Mang Tomas.
Oh, bidin yung lechon. Wala sausawan.
So, pag walang Mang Tomas, wala nang rice, wala pang sarsa, di ba?
Oh.
So, went to the store. Kasi yun lang yung store na posibleng, there's a lot, but that was the closest to us.
Yeah.
So we stopped at that store. And I got Mang Tomas, which is right beside the counter. So I got it, put it on the counter. And then this girl, I saw her already that she was taking a photo.
Mapaparazzi.
I was so friggin' tired. I was like, okay, whatever.
Kasi na makipag-away pa or makipag-away.
A girl needs your Mang Tomas.
Ganun na lang.
Manok waiting, di ba?
Yeah.
A girl needs my Mang Tomas. My God.
So that was pretty much it. And then the next day, I just saw the photo and everyone was posting about it. Everyone was talking about it. And I was like, oh yeah, cool.
So it's not true. I'm sorry, I just want to ask this question because it's been circulating, para matapos na yung chismis. Hindi totoo, binayaran ka ng 5 million ni Mang Tomas para bumili ng Mang Tomas. Hindi, okay, tapos na.
Well, you never know. It could happen.
Sabi kasi viral na, naku, binayaran ng 5 million yan para bumili ng Mang Tomas. Hindi totoo yun.
But it actually made you look like, hey, she's just an ordinary girl.
We love it. Everybody loves it.
But it's like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So people felt that closeness to you from that.
It humanized you. Di ba? Parang if you think about it.
Tsaka alam ka naman, bibili ka ng Mang Tomas, nakasmile ka sa camera. Hindi naman gano'n. Siyempre, kabayo ka sa
Binayaran ng 5 million.
Ano naman, kung 5 million, nakangiti tayong gano'n. Bibili lang ako ng Mang Tomas.
Feeling ko si Sam, if they paid him 5 million,
Isang sumasayaw pa yan. No?
Baka inubos ko pa yung bote sa counter.
Now, you making the move, and I think a lot of people are thinking about it now. What would be your tips, your advice to them? Is because you dropped some stuff here, but then you're living there. So, what would your advice be?
For me, it's just because I wanted to take care of my mental health. Mm-hmm. So it is normal for you to, just feel, I guess, I don't know what the right word is, but before moving to Siargao, kasi I felt claustrophobic. Like it was very
suffocating, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah,
like walls closing in on you, kind of feeling. Yeah.
And it is it is very valid because a lot of my friends have been asking me since I moved to Siargao.
Yeah.
If how is it like there? Is it helping with my mental health? And it is normal to feel suffocated here in Manila. But the thing is, at the end of the day, what's more important is your mental health and how you feel, overall. So it's not really difficult moving out city. It's actually so much easier just because you appreciate things even more.
I think simplicity. I think it's
exactly. I appreciated the simple life in Siargao, and I've always thought that life is just it's very complicated. That's how I saw life before. But
So, do you think, Nadine, that these guys should leave their wives and then just hop on to Charlotte?
Magandang tanong to. Please answer.
Teka lang, bring up ko lang, pwede rin naman namin isama yung wives namin sa Siargao. Hindi ba pwede yun, Tons?
Hindi pwede.
Hindi ba pwede yun, Tons?
Why will you bring a son to Siargao? Gino, are you stupid? Or bring a son to the beach?
Why bring water to the beach?
Are you bringing a sandwich? You're going to the buffet? Are you stupid?
So, Sam, would you think about it?
Think, Gino, think.
Let's ask.
Gino.
Do you
Would
bring,
you, Sam?
would you bring Esa or no?
Ano, so iwan na si Esa, gano'n. Gugulit na si
Sinasabi ko na.
Biglang cambio eh.
Just think about it.
all on you guys, ha? My opposite.
It's our choice.
But there are some that have brought their whole family. I know people that have brought their family to a much more nature environment.
Laid back environment, yeah.
Yeah, and they've left the city for definitely something more raw. And that's perfectly fine. I think everyone should actually take that time out, and I don't know to move, but spend time with nature. I think that's the key thing.
It's not,
You can't-
yeah, and just to experience how life is like outside of the city.
Yeah.
No, because everyone is like when you think of the city, it's like, oh, it's where everything is. That's where all the jobs are. That's where we should live.
Yeah.
Really, like it you don't have to live in the city to live a good life.
That's true. Yeah. It's just the whole rat race gets to you after a while.
And to everybody listening, silo is part of the city. Ha? Yung mga pumunta ng silo, out of town, nasa silo lang tayo. Alam namin kayo. Hindi out of the city yun. Hoy.
But nakikita mo naman eh, pag umalis ka ng Manila or any major city in the Philippines, the first thing you notice is yung busina. Like the motorcycles, the cars honking at you for just being at a stoplight.
Tones, lahat kasi dito sa lahat sa cities, nagmamadali. Like everybody's trying to get somewhere. You know what I mean? Like there's always, di ba, parang you're trying to get to a job, you're trying to pick up whoever. Like whereas like usually if you're parang like if you're in Siargao or Palawan or whatever, like everybody's kind of we've got time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, let's admit, we are like the New York of the Philippines.
That's true. Oh.
That is true. But also there are just people at fault is because they just leave the house late.
Yeah, that's true.
Can we mention names, Nick, of these people? Laging late.
I remember there's this one guy we were at an event. Tapos we called him. Tapos we're like, Sam, where are you? Tapos
May pangalan eh.
Gago ka. Sabi ko, akala ko no names.
Tapos he goes, I'm on EDSA. Tapos in the background, Samir, here,
Nanay ko.
bro.
Sinama kay nanay ko sa EDSA.
Nasa kotse, nanay mo, no? Nakasit lang naman. Pero naka-stretch libo siya kaya mahaba yung, para malayo yung tulog.
Hinatid ko, drop off.
But you being a city girl before and now living the beach life, what did you learn about yourself?
A lot of things. I had to unlearn a lot of things also. It's just, I've always thought that how do I say this? That I'm good at multitasking. That's one of the things.
Yeah.
But really, like when I do all things at the same time, it's like the quality of work isn't as good. But because I have a lot of time to do stuff, I don't know. It's just I just work better that way when it's slowed down.
I think it's the whole.
Yeah.
I think when you have proper rest and focus, the quality is also so much better. The stress and strain of life is out, so you can actually do things at an optimum performance, other than you just doing the rat wheel and you're going through the motions, right? I think that's the difference between I call it life sensitive versus ego sensitive. So I think we're just so focused, like when we're in Manila in the city. Okay, trabaho. And then
that's what I always say, because a lot of people from Siargao are asking me why I decided to move.
Yeah.
And one is